Buddy, this is it. Part 3 of my homemade Craftsman drill powered drum sander. I finally got the sandpaper on here today, and I made the mistake of running a board through it with some paint on it, so it came off. No big deal. I've got more sandpaper. One of the additions I made to it, this little flip up lid here where the shop vac port goes, and it makes a big difference too. I ran a few boards through here earlier, and there was just sawdust all over the place. Just a simple piece of pine like that. Also, what I had done was this 2-piece base right here. It's just 2x6s that I milled down on the planer and cut the edges off clean. I separated the one from the other and put a few zip ties in there. It took me 3 of them. They're not really the longest, but wrapped them around the drill, and it holds it in place a lot better now. There's no wobble, hardly any anyway, I should say. And it's working real nice. The other thing I decided to do, you can't really see it, but here's the one end of the rod. Here's the other end. It's just a 5/16 rod. A couple of these little handles here that I got from Lowe's, and a few washers just as spacers. And then I notched these grooves out here, and I'm not the happiest with them. I might put a little sanding wheel in there, clean them up, maybe put a little piece of sheet metal over it with a cleaner track, so it looks a little nicer before I paint this, because I plan on painting it. Anyway, with that being said, this is going to be kind of hard to do one-handed, so bear with me. I've already adjusted the height. Basically, the way I do it is I start at the bottom, place the board in, and raise it up as high as I can to the drum so I could just kind of get it through a little bit, but there's also a little bit of resistance. Then from there, tighten this knob here, tighten that knob there, make sure this chuck is tight. This was slipping, so I put a pair of vice grip pliers on there and really tighten the crap out of it, and it doesn't seem to want to come off now. So with that being said, and again, I'm doing this one-handed, so bear with me. Not the easiest. I'm going to have to get my wife in here to help me with these videos one of these days. I want to find a better way to mount this. I really don't have much, if you see down here. It comes close. Doesn't hit the sander, but it comes close. But I might build up a little block right here, just so that way that hose is a little further away from the sander. Again, I'm going to try to do this one-handed. First we'll start our drill, and eventually I'm going to wire this into like a light switch kind of setup. It's pretty inconvenient to have to push the trigger, and underneath there's a little pin that locks the trigger. So we'll get the sander going first. We'll turn the shop back on. I'm going to try to do this one-handed. I already sanded this board down a couple times. It doesn't look bad. It's nice in it, but not horrible. So I'm going to try to do this the best I can with one hand, and we'll see how it goes. So, that being said, here we go. Have a nice speed. You don't want to pull it through too slow. You don't want to pull it through too fast. Flip it over. We'll run it one more time on a different side. Maybe a little tighter here. Apologize for the one-handed. I should have fed the board through a little faster than that, but trying to switch the phone and switch hands, But yeah, other than that, I'm just gonna probably mount a little block on top of here just to give this vacuum hose just a little bit of room so it doesn't want to work its way into that sanding belt. I'm going to clean it up a little bit, but I mean, it works pretty nice. You know, I just got some little cheap hinges here from, where did I get these? Lowe's. And then these are the hinges here on the back that raise this here up and down. I was thinking of putting a flip-up lid over the drill here, but now that I think about it, I don't want to do that. So other than that, just a little bit of sanding, and I think this will be ready to go. I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. It took me a couple hours here and there at night working on it, and it works pretty well. I think this drum here is something like within the 9-inch range. It was about 9 1/4. I had to chop it down a little bit so I can get these nuts and washers in and be able to get a wrench in there to tighten them down, because before I'd had them in there, this drum was just going back and forth on this piece of 3/8 threaded rod. It was a real pain in the neck. So I've got that in place now. Again, like I showed you in the last video, I got 2 nuts right here, one locking into the other. Same on the other side, so that basically keeps the drill and the rod from wanting to go back and forth, and then these right here keep the drum from wanting to go back and forth. And I already wore this hell out of this sandpaper, but I think it was because I ran that painted board through there because I was just kind of curious to see what it would do, and it really just hung up more than anything, so I don't suggest trying it, you know, unless you go like a commercial powered, something like that. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. I think I'm just going to hit it with the orbital one good time, clean it up, and make a few more of these rods, these drums I should say, with some different grit on them. It's a bit of a pain, this whole threaded rod, because you have to put it in a little at a time, tighten one nut a little bit, tighten the other nut a little bit, and you've got to get them perfectly lined up, or else this won't stay in. But yeah, I started off with 80 grit, a brand new roll of it, which actually I sliced in half, but I have enough to do one more. And now it feels like 180. But other than that, I'm really happy with this, and that'll be it for this video. And I guess like, subscribe, do whatever you YouTubers do when you like a video and you want to see more. And yeah, that's it. Have a good night.